I wanted to share some practical tips on facilitating discussions with your staff. Organizations will often put out new directives and new policies, things that change the way that you do business. And the idea in a paramilitary organization, that information tends to roll downhill, down the chain of command, and simply gets conveyed through whoever the leader is in that situation, just talking at the employees. A better way, especially in circumstances where you want them to think differently or something new is coming in, is to, let's say for your patrol officers in a briefing situation, email them the policy or email them, say, a video that you're going to discuss. And you can prepare them by saying, hey, look, we're going to be discussing this in briefing on whatever day, and bring your questions and concerns. And then once you have that briefing, guess what? What do you guys think about this? You've just started facilitating a discussion. Who's doing the talking? They are. You have in your mind where you want this to go. You have in your mind the information, values, and resources that you want them to consider so that you're giving them good decision-making tools, but you don't want to talk at them. Employees want to be heard. And part of this process in being heard, you want their brains doing the work. If you're simply talking at them, they're very passive in the reception of that information. And maybe it sticks, maybe it doesn't. But when they're doing the talking, and this is part of Sangay, one of the quotes in Sangay that I love is, in dialogue, people become observers of their own thinking. In dialogue, people can see their reasoning. That is what facilitated discussions do. They're doing the talking, you're doing the listening, and then using the Socratic method, something comes up, well, have you considered this? Or have you experienced that? Are you aware of this dynamic over here? And in that, you're getting them to also take on multiple perspectives. So we're talking about this. Now imagine you're a defense attorney or a civil attorney or whatever the case may be. How might that change the way you see this and respond to this? And as you're facilitating that discussion, again, they're being heard, their brains are working, but you're giving them a skill set. You're honing their reasoning skills. And it adds value. The employee themselves feel like, man, I was valued. My input was taken, my thoughts were considered, the discussion that was facilitated, wow, I really gained something from this. And then what happens too is that in the future, when they're asked to talk about things, they're a lot more open to it. One of the saddest things I saw in my career would be you'd have a lieutenant or a captain walk into a briefing room. Hey, does anybody have anything for me? Dead silence. Well, dead silence for a couple of reasons. One, they may not trust you. Two, they know you're not listening. It's like you say you are here, you want to hear what they have to say, but then in the rare instances where they have the courage to bring it up because they don't have faith that you're actually listening, they say something and it gets either blown off or even worse, now they're seen in a negative light because they said something. And so employees are often very reluctant to speak up when they would love to say something because they don't trust the leader or they don't believe they'll be heard. If you make it a habit of doing this, facilitating discussions instead of talking at people, you'll be much more successful as a leader. Going back to the resources, what does it take to do this successfully? Time. Slow down, take the time, gain the skill set of facilitation and using the Socratic method, and you'll be amazed at the results. Let me know if you have any questions.